Hi, I'm Brady Bryan, and this is Brady's Corner. Every 15-minute episode, I'm going to bring to you a new business leader. They're going to be talking about everything from their personal journey to their company to the industry at large. And really, really glad to be able to bring this and share this with you. Today, we've got Jack Simonian. And Jack, thank you so much for joining Brady's Corner.
Hey, Brady, thanks for having me on. So my name is Jack Simonian. I have a boutique M&A advisory firm based in Las Vegas. We help business owners sell their companies to strategic and private equity buyers. As you know, over the last few years, we've been working with a lot of engineering and architecture firms. And so far in 2021, we have done 3 AEC deals, all in engineering, structural, MEP, and civil infrastructure, with a total headcount of about 150 employees between all these deals. And we have several other deals in progress, as we speak, also all in the MEP, structural, civil, and design firms. I think this is the quick version of what Blackcastle is and what we do. We in a nutshell, help business owners sell their companies and help them exit and cash out on the business they built over 20, 30 years sometimes.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Jack. What does it mean? When does an engineering firm or do you do architecture firms as well, primarily engineering?
Yeah, AE primarily is the primary focus, although most of our clients have been engineers recently, but we are currently working with design firms as well right now, architecture and interior design.
Perfect. So when does a firm know, when do the owners know they're ready for exit?
That's a great question because that's a topic that's always I discuss every day. Sometimes you meet owners that have been in their company 30, 40 years. They're in their 60s or sometimes even late 60s and have not planned for an exit. So a lot of people think about this sometimes too late, where when you go to market with these types of opportunities, buyers are hesitant because the owners want to retire. And one of the primary goals of the buyer is to keep existing management on board. So it's important for owners to start planning early for an exit.
So really, they should be starting to plan at the beginning of their business. They should have an understanding of what retirement means and things like that.
Exactly. It's a process you work on for many years, and you see a lot of companies that not only they're not prepared, but they also build firms that are not really sellable sometimes, a high customer concentration, no leadership, next generation team of senior people prepared to take over and, be the, captain of the ship, if you want, after the owner retires. So yeah, a lot to think about. If you're planning to build a business and you want to sell it at some point, you have to plan for it. Otherwise, you see some owners that don't really care about that. But, for the most part, people build businesses to be able to not only make a good living over those years, but also sell it at some point.
So you mentioned a couple of things. Are those some of the primary factors that, those acquiring firms are looking for? Is a more diverse, you mentioned high concentration of customers and clients. So you're worried about somebody being dependent only upon, for example, the Nevada DOT or something like that, right?
Exactly. If you don't build a firm with 2 clients that are 90% of your revenues, if you're planning on selling it, because the risk is high for a buyer to post close to lose some of these clients if those relationships are personal with the owner or the seller.
Now, are you seeing anybody that is I guess who's most at risk? Obviously, we know the folks that are most dependent on maybe restaurant and retail have had the toughest time over the last 14 months or 12 months. What are you seeing there? Obviously, a quick rebound, but
Yeah. There's a high demand for anything civil, transportation, infrastructure, and along the southern states, the populated states, from California to Texas to Florida. There's a lot of competition on those deals. So on the engineering side, those are probably the highest companies that are the most in demand. There is maybe less demand for anything design related, architecture, interior design, but it doesn't mean the market is not hot. The market overall, M&A market is hot, but those are the areas that I'm seeing with the most buyer activity on the civil side.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Jack. Why is that hot? And what do you see as far as a timeline? As far as, is that going to be increasing? And if so, for how long?
Yeah, I think it's going to continue for the time being. I don't have a crystal ball, as far as what's going to happen with the economy in the next couple of years. But with everything, infrastructure, infrastructure plans that are, coming online with the, government and this administration, I think it's going to continue, and there's going to be a lot of consolidation in the civil space. That's what I see happening. More consolidation in infrastructure, engineering, more deals, and higher valuations as well.
Great. Let me ask you this, Jack. How did you ever see yourself as being a power broker and putting together 8-figure deals? And how did that? Tell me about that evolution in your personal life. And your personal.
No, it's hard to answer that because my background's in architecture. As you know, I've known you for many years, and you know what I've done before. So, I started in architecture. I was designing really large shopping centers for international property developer, and then from there, I decided one day to just pull the plug and terminate that career and go back to business school and grad school and so on. So coming out of grad school, it was the recession, and I had to figure out something to do instead of finding a job, which I couldn't. So it's been a good 10, 12 years run, and over the last 2 years, I decided to focus on my background, which is architecture and the AEC space, and I did my first deal, and I figured this is something really interesting. I'm having fun doing it. It's awesome to bring buyers and sellers together. Matching companies together is great, and I can't see myself doing anything else right now. So it's been a great run. And I'm super busy this year. This year has been, coming out of the pandemic, has been the first 2 quarters, like I described, were very busy, and we're looking at closing a few other deals, in the next 2 quarters. So just having fun, and it's a great business to be in.
That's exciting to hear. Let me ask you this. So. Just as a side note, you and I connected originally on LinkedIn. We didn't know each other from Adam, right? And I often tell people, like, why don't you accept that LinkedIn connection? And now, you and I have been doing business and, been working together on clients. And, what advice do you have for people that may say, well, I'm not accepting that LinkedIn connection because I don't know that person? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I pretty much accept everyone unless it looks like spam, because it doesn't hurt. A lot of people are hesitant they have a small number of connections. I think, I'm more open to it. And a lot of these connections are sales pitches, right? You accept the connection and you immediately receive a sales pitch. I don't do that to others when I connect. I try to build personal connections from there. I think that's the best way to use the social networks.
Specifically, I'm sorry to interrupt. So once you connect with somebody, how do you follow up? What's a common thread for you on your responses when y'all connect?
Yeah, I mean, I try to provide value to people, and that's general. In general, that's how I think about the social connection. So, when I connect with someone on LinkedIn, I ask them, how can I help you with your business, and I and probably end that sentence with what we do and how we can help their clients, perhaps. So if there's a common connection, you move that to the next level, and you discuss in more detail, maybe over the phone or something.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. A actual in-person coffee or virtual coffee.
Yeah.
I think it's a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, okay, so we do have something exciting coming up, right? August 12th and 13th here in Las Vegas at the Grand. We're having our kickoff summit, the Brayn AEC Summit, www.baecsummit.com. Jack, you're going to be speaking there. What are you going to be speaking on?
So, first of all, exciting opportunity to network, meet new faces, share ideas, and congratulations to you on coming up with that. I know we talked about that a few years ago, and here you are. And even with COVID, you stuck to it, and making it happen. So exciting to be there. I think you and I have talked about the M&A topics for, on many occasions, and the list of things we can discuss is unlimited, right? But I think I'm going to focus, it's going to be a group of very smart accounting and finance professionals. So, what do you present to them? That's going to be interesting. So, I think I'm going to focus the presentation more on some of these challenges we were discussing earlier on this call here, things like what makes a company sellable. And I want the takeaway for people listening to be, how do we, as managers of these companies, not make these mistakes? So basically, I will try to take some of these real life deal challenges with buyers and sellers and, back into how do you make the companies evolve and grow without hitting those hurdles in the future if, the owner wants to sell? So Brady, I have a question for you. I've known you many years, as I mentioned, and, Brayn has been on a, growth trajectory over the last few years. Tell us a little bit about, where you've been, where you're going. It's very exciting, the things that you're doing at Brayn. And also maybe another question about, Baec. How did you come up with the idea? And, what are you, looking forward to the most, in August? I think it's in 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, no, and those are both good questions. So I'll start with the first one. So for those of you who don't know, Brayn's a boutique specialty tax incentive consulting company, and we really concentrate on a core group of tax incentives and tax credits, and as well as the folks we serve. And my motto is do a good job, and that's the best business development that you can do. So we really try to concentrate on the clients and meeting and exceeding expectations and the quality of the work that we provide. In fact, we don't have a professional sales staff, Jack. We just do the best we can. Almost all of our business comes from word of mouth, and by doing so, we've had a great growth trajectory. And on Baec, the Brayn AEC Summit, that's been a really a long time in the making. And I don't know if you remember or not, but we were 63 or 65 stories up the Mandalay Bay at the foundation room. We had just finished a whiskey tasting event. And that's really about the time that I decided to, fully commit to doing this. And really over the last 7-8 years, I've noticed this unmet need with architecture, engineering, construction, home building companies, where the actual business of their business was being neglected, in the sense that there was not a educational and network support group for those folks responsible. And that includes, sometimes the owners and presidents and COOs and principals are intimately responsible for that. And sometimes it's the CFOs and controllers and business managers. And that's what BAKE is all about, is creating that social network support group, as well as that educational support group. And really looking forward to a very successful kickoff to BAKE.
Thanks. Yeah, Brady, looking forward to it as well.
Well, thank you so much, Jack. Thank you for joining us here at Brady's Corner. Now, for the folks that want to get a hold of you, Jack, what's the best way for them to do so?
Maybe through the company website, you'll find, information about what we do, as well as contact information, phone numbers, and emails as well. And the company website is blackcastlepartners.com.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us at Brady's Corner. Hope you enjoyed hearing from Jack. If you would like to get a hold of me, please contact me at brady@brayn.com. And you can also reach me here at LinkedIn. Please connect with me, and look forward to hearing from you.